Happy Arvo. Hello. Thank you very much for joining me today. How you doing? Today I'm going to react to John Cena. Living in Australia as an American. First impressions, Australian culture shocks. I love this type of stuff. It's by Lifey. Check him out. Link down below. Let's see what he has to say.
Going back to that first day in
Darwin. Whoa. It really got right into it.
Going back to that first day in Darwin,
I respect that. I haven't seen a YouTube video start literally in the middle of the first syllable in a long time, I feel like.
Going back to that first day in Darwin, we were walking through this field. We were just going to cut through it to go to our next appointment. And we were walking in
this thing scrolling at the bottom, I thought it was like captions, and it totally scrambled my brain up. But okay, he's walking through a field.
In the middle, all of a sudden, my companion just drops to the ground. I'm like, what the heck? And I look up, and there are these birds just hovering over us. There's about 5 or 6 of them.
Oh my God.
And they just start sort of dive bombing us. And we got our backpacks, and we're swinging them over our head and running. We don't even know what's happening. And there are a couple locals that were just...
Are they magpies? I've never heard of a swarm of magpies. I thought they traveled solo.
Just sort of laughing at us, and we started talking to them, and they're like, you guys must be not from here. And we're like, yeah, this is our first day here. And he's like, well, those are birds called plovers, and they nest in the fields. And so we were walking right through the middle of their nest, and we had no idea. And if you look up the plover bird on Google, it's
doing that now.
Plover. They have these little...
That was really funny. He was literally talking to me as I was doing it. I felt like he was like I was Zoom calling him or something. Anyway.
Spikes on their wings. And so they come down and they can sort of spike you in the back of the head or area. And so it was pretty dangerous situation, but I had no idea. So do your research. Don't let it scare you. Just be educated. Man, you will really have a struggle understanding what some people are saying, because they speak fast, use very different words, but it is a cool experience for sure. I mean, and they love the American accent. They just think we have the coolest accent.
Is it true?
And we think they have...
I've actually reacted to videos about that, and it seems like it's half and half.
The coolest accent.
Some people say it sounds stupid.
And, it's a really hard accent to pick up. I mean, I came home speaking just like I do now. I had a couple, different words and stuff like that I used. Still do, today from what I learned over there. But I wouldn't...
Like what?
Hate to burst your bubble, but I wouldn't expect to come home speaking with an Australian accent.
You're not going to pick up Australian in just 1 week.
It's just a really hard accent to pick up and to sort of change. I mean, they talk completely different than we do, but it's a really cool experience. They're the coolest, friendliest people in the world. I mean, you probably heard that, which is true. And they're the funny.
I think that's hilarious for some reason. I never would have thought, it never crossed my brain, if and when I go to Australia. I never thought, maybe I'll come back home with an Australian accent. But
yes,
that would be cool.
People as well. Holy cow. Almost all of them are just super witty, and they're not afraid to say something that might offend you. And they're going to crack jokes. And I remember laughing a lot over there, and just from everybody that I met, just because they are just comedians. The whole country, I swear, is really funny, really witty, and they're not afraid to say whatever's on their mind.
They're not afraid to piss you off, which, I mean, this guy, pissing off John Cena, even. They're like, what are you going to do? I don't know why, but I need to read the first comment. Watching this as an Australian is amusing. He really said that we love American accents with his whole chest. Who lied to this poor man? See, I freaking knew it. I knew it.
Their portion sizes, holy cow, are very small compared to ours.
I know the pizzas are.
When I first got to Adelaide, they took us to Subway. And,
How are you going to make a foot long any shorter than a foot?
you know, it was our first sort of meal for lunch. And I just ordered, you know, a typical sub and a drink. Finish my drink, I go back up to refill my drink, and the lady's like, "Oh, are you gonna pay for that?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm just getting a refill." And
No, I'm not. What are you going to do? John Cena.
she's like, "You need to pay for that." I'm like, I remember looking at her and being like,
Do you know who
"You
I am?
guys don't do free refills here?" She's like, "No, that's the case for everywhere."
Okay, that is the first time I heard that. That is the first time I've heard that. Reacting to Australian stuff for years, you still hear things I'm like, what? There's no free refills. That sucks. I'm sorry, guys. There's literally nothing more, especially for a penny pincher like me. I love nothing more than when I buy a soda, go up, go up, go up, chug it, go back 30 seconds later. You know what I mean? I get my money's worth. I've heard news stories, rumblings that free refills are going to start dying over here in America. It seems like everything that, all the nice things that we have are just being taken away one at a time. I feel like that's how it goes. More places used to offer free bread and, free things. Pretty soon we'll be like Europe. We're going to be paying to go to the bathroom, I'm pretty sure. It won't even be America at that point. If you're paying to go to the bathroom.
McDonald's, you name it, you have to pay for every single drink, which is probably a good thing. I
It's probably good for your health.
ended up honestly losing a little bit of weight out there just because I ate less, a lot less. And it took a while to get used to, for sure, but I mean, it was very beneficial. You will notice a huge difference. Their ice cream is 20 times better than
No
ours.
way.
Their chocolate, so much better. They have these things.
I know that. But the ice cream?
It's
See, that's something you guys... I can't get my hands on Australian ice cream over here in America.
almost like hamburger in terms of like it's available everywhere. It's very quick.
What is?
It's almost like hamburger and chocolate, so much better. They have these things. It's almost like hamburger in terms of like it's available everywhere. It's very quick and easy.
Kebabs.
But they call them like meat pies, and they're really good. I mean, I love them. You'll love them. Everybody loves them. Just delicious. There's
Something about this video that I really like, where it has this vibe of... I almost can't even... I don't know what it is. It's like he's being interviewed by the U.S. government or something, and he's in this room or something, or it's got kind of like an old-timey, like a 90s infomercial vibe. Like he's comes on the TV and, Australia was a really cool place. I don't know. It's a cool video.
a ton of stuff to do. Holy cow, from going to wildlife parks to see the
It feels like a local commercial for Australia.
kangaroos, the koala bears, all the, crazy animals that they have over there, to in Darwin, YouTube, the jumping crocodile cruise.
Thank you, man. I'm always looking for stuff to react to, and that sounds phenomenal. The jumping crocodile cruise. Will do. Subscribe for that. Next week, I'll react to that.
If you go up there, this is a must see. You're in this boat. They're dangling like little slabs of meat over the side, and we're talking, they're not little crocodiles. Like, they're like 15 feet long crocodiles just jumping out of the water, almost getting their full body out of the water to pick these pieces of meat up. And no joke, sometimes I could reach out and touch the crocodile. There's lots of Beaches, we would go play, ultimate frisbee on the beach, or football, or just go walk along the beach, or waterfalls, and really, really cool things to do.
He said ultimate frisbee, and now I'm thinking, I would love to play some disc golf. Does anybody down under play disc golf? I know they have the Australian Open Disc Golf Championship. Probably none of you have even watched it. But I'm looking up disc golf courses in Australia right now because once I start thinking something, I've got to see. Oh my goodness. Would you look at that? Wow. Western Australia, not a whole lot. Some down in Perth. That's pretty freaking cool. And over here, oh hell yeah, in Melbourne City, Sydney, quite a few. That's pretty cool. One thing I'll never forget is in the disc golf tournament in Australia, one of the players, his disc, his frisbee, was just bending in half. Normally they're stiff, but it was so damn hot, it was just like flopping in half.
If you go to Alice Springs, there's Ayers Rock. Look it up. It's a really cool spot. It's, I think, one of the, really probably one of the coolest places in the world that you can go to. Street fairs type things where they've got food from all over the world, and just go grab some lunch there. Tons and tons and tons of people. And they have these barbecue pits all over the place. Parks, beaches. And you just go, you hit a button, it turns on.
What?
And you probably heard a lot about, like, shrimp, sausages.
Shrimp on the Barbie. I know, you don't call it shrimp. And you don't cook it on the Barbie very much. Trust me, I know. That's funny, though. What is he talking about? You just hit a button? Is it free? What are they? Are they propane? Are they gas powered? You just hit a button?
Hot dogs, like that's their thing. And honestly, not one time did I ever have shrimp on the Barbie. So over there, so I don't know where that came from, but we did have a lot. We did barbecue a ton, but we did a lot of touch rugby. Holy cow, that's a fun sport. They play it all.
We play touch football over here in America, so that makes sense. Touch rugby.
All over. Rugby's just so popular there. Cricket.
To be honest, is this guy a football player? He's saying he played touch rugby.
Hey, I'm Alex Belinsky. I'm the founder of the Life.
Oh, this is like, okay. So this channel is a bunch of different people.
Aussie rules football. So we'd do that too. We'd play that.
I would love to play some Aussie football.
Cricket, not so much. It's just like a very slow, like baseball. So if baseball's already too slow for you, and cricket's going to be tough.
I mean, I do understand that cricket games can last days in a certain format. That's insane. I mean, I know that's probably not I don't know. I don't know which format is played most often, but it can last days or like 8 hours.
Tough, but the other sports, Aussie rules and rugby, they're fun. Holy cow, they're a good time, and they're pretty passionate about their sports over there. So in general, I really did feel pretty safe over there. A lot of their crimes are typical robberies and stuff like that. But
I mean, compared to America, America's not, the most dangerous country in the world. But I feel like Australia would feel even safer.
In general, I felt really, really safe. We did, unfortunately, in my area, have a break-in. I was with my companion. I'm a very deep sleeper, so I slept through the whole thing. But someone did break into our apartment. There's a whole bunch of chaos, but nothing bad.
Someone broke into his apartment and he slept through it. Well, that dude's lucky because this guy looks like he might be able to rip his head off.
Happen, thank goodness, but just keep your doors locked, you know, the typical stuff that you do, and but in general I feel like I felt pretty safe and not really ever in any dangerous situations, thank goodness. Adelaide, Darwin, and Alice Springs are three completely different worlds. Adelaide is hot and dry, and it gets a little bit of cold
I could see Darwin feels like a totally different country
in their winters,
from what I see.
so their seasons are flopped. Christmas is the hottest day of the year. July 4th is pretty cold. So it's a little weird
I wonder how long he was there.
to have that hot Christmas or have the different seasons that are changed. Alice Springs is almost it's same. It's very dry. It's a lot of red rock, red dirt, the red rock, the red sand all over the place. It is a different world. And then Darwin is extremely tropical. They have two seasons. They have the wet season and the dry season. That's it. The wet season, it will rain every single day. And if you're from Utah or a drier climate, you don't know what rain is until you've been to Darwin.
Wow.
And it is so wet. I can remember
How long
My-
does that season last?
shoes just being wet every day, just because the air is humid. It's so hard to get
You gotta get some waterproof shoes, huh? Living in Darwin.
stuff to dry. I can remember me and my companion were on our
Or just wear thongs.
bikes, and this was my first day in Darwin. And you know, it rains during the wet season. It rains every day, but we didn't know that. I mean, we both were actually new, and we heard this sound. We're like, "What the heck is that sound?" And we're just sitting on our bikes, and you can hear the rain coming before it even gets to you. I mean, that's how hard it rains. And it started pouring on us. Luckily, there are buses.
That's kind of funny. I've only had that experience like once or twice in my life where you just hear, you're like, what the hell? And all of a sudden, downpouring.
Stops all over the place that are covered. And so those will be your go-to spots if you get up in Darwin. You'll cruise your bike or run to the bus stop. Usually it'll rain for 10 or 15 minutes and it goes away. But yeah, it's three different worlds. It's really cool. You'll have, if you go to either of them, you will have a very different experience. And they are both all have their positive aspects about them for sure. Very hot in all three places, at least in the summer. Hot and humid up in Darwin, hot and dry the other two places. So one of the things I thought that, you know, when I got off the plane, I thought I was going to see kangaroos, you know, in the front yards of people's houses. Really
I mean, you can.
is not the case. I mean,
Sometimes,
they're
huh?
pretty much like deer, you know. You'll see them, you know, out in the open fields. If you're way out in the middle of nowhere, you'll see them. Unfortunately, they've gotten hit by cars and stuff like that crossing the road. But the main place you'll see them is in the zoo. So you have the chance to go to like some wildlife parks.
No, I don't want to see a kangaroo in the zoo in Australia. You can do that here in America in a couple places. I actually have never seen a kangaroo, even in a zoo. So I'm going to have to find one. I already have found one. And I'm definitely going to have to film that. I got to go to that zoo. Find that kangaroo. But if I'm in Australia, I want to see one in the wild. And I want to box it.
They just sort of hop around. They don't keep them in little enclosures, which is really nice. You can go feed them and you can pet them and all that stuff. But yeah, don't expect to see just kangaroos all over the place because that's really not the case. Do your research on poisonous bugs, just different things in Australia. That's something I did not do. And when I look back on my time there were some experiences, you know, now that I've learned of all the poisonous and dangerous things that Australia has, I am blown away that I did not get, you know, bitten by a snake or, you know, crocodiles or whatever because there are so many different things, and really I was sort of clueless to that and sort of learned as I
It's kind of funny because I know that aspect of Australia. Australians are like, you guys think it's kind of funny, like it's not that dangerous. But then you hear this dude, he's American. He's like, it's pretty dangerous. Like as far as animals, wildlife concerned, pretty wild. So I don't know. It's probably somewhere in the middle.
went. So I mean, don't let us scare you, obviously. In Darwin, they have saltwater crocodiles. And
I guess just here in America, in most states, there's pretty much nothing like that. Like, yeah, we got some black widow spiders somewhere. I've never seen one in some states. And yeah, some states have bears, but like not in Indiana at least, and not in the other states I've lived in.
And I mean, they're one of the most aggressive animals.
What are?
When they have saltwater crocodiles, and I mean, they're one of the most aggressive animals in the world, and you'll see all the time on like headlines of the newspaper of like crocodile attacks and stuff like that. And
is that more common than a shark attack?
I mean, I was just sort of ignorant to it. I can remember we had these little hand fishing reels. It was around like a little spool, and one of them, we just went off the side of this little river that like ran into the beach, and we were right there on the sand just fishing. So many times there have been crocodile attacks or dogs getting, or kangaroos or whatever.
Oh my God.
And man, I just think about how lucky I was and how it's important to know what your dangers are. Obviously, don't let that deter you or anything like that, but just, educate yourself. I mean, they even have poisonous fish. They have obviously a lot of snakes.
Stinging nettles. Or stinging, what am I thinking of? Those jellyfish.
A lot of spiders. A lot of their shopping centers they have. You imagine, our shopping mall, but having a Walmart attached to it or a Target attached to it. So you go to one
Woolworth
place, you can get everything done, which is really nice.
It ended just like it began, you know what I mean? It ended on that
You
syllable.
can get everything done, which is really nice.
They wasted no time in that video. I appreciate that. Wow. I really enjoyed that. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Be here tomorrow, please. I'll be here. Subscribe if you want to. That was fun. Go check out his channel, link down below.